combat with big moral. Those are the dudes I wanted to be like because they was rough and tumble dudes. But I only seen them on TV. And then before them, the bullshit cowboy movies, the genocide movies. Those are the dudes I want John Wayne swaggering his ass up in there. John Wayne swagged his ass up in some shit. And this motherfucker's just got testosterone all on the walls and shit. Right? I mean, this motherfucker was leaking man. Right? But that's the image they wanted to portray of the American male at that time. So that's where I got my whole get down of what it was like to be upright, to be, you know.
Older Crips you looked up to in your area when your mom's moved?
Yeah, I moved into the fucking Central Castle for what today is prototypical. What today is the archetypical gangster. I moved into that, and that was just the norm. And these cats, but they had their own style. They wore leather like the Panthers, but they really wasn't about black power. These dudes out getting pussy. These dudes carried guns. They were just doing what they wanted to do. They were outlaws. They were outside of the law. And that's what the appeal was. So when I came from them bullshit ass movies and all that, and actually moved there and would be in the front yard, and accusing them to be up and down the street, or they'd be chasing Brims, or Brims would be chasing them up and down Dinker. I mean, just but the thing to do it with style and finesse, man. So they became the real deal. And fuck being like somebody on TV that I ain't even the same color as. I want to be like the dude who's the real deal.
Do you remember some of those Brims names?
Oh yeah, Yogi, Terry Cadeau, his brother, that son of a bitch. He really wasn't the bang, but he used to really support him a lot. I think his name, Touche, Michael Silverstein. You know, these dudes, fucking Foots, fucking Rat, Twins, son of bitches. Even, you know, like, here's the thing with me. I came into the Crips, so I was fortunate enough, man, to be pollinated like that, man. And I was fortunate enough that righteous ass fucking butterflies and fucking bees fucking landed on me, man, and pollinated me, man, cross-pollinated me. And I was able to rub shoulders with giants, man, because I learned how Crippin' is and how it, and everything changed. I ain't no stuck dude going back talking about let's take it back to the days, because the good old days was really the bad old days. Every day has their good days. Every time has their good and bad days. There wasn't no good old days all the time. You know, the mother of invention is necessity is the mother of invention. If you need it as a human, with all this knowledge and prehensile and holding thumbs, we will create it. I need to see people in a box running through a fucking electrical cord, through a copper cable. I need to control that. Now, they didn't know all that then. But when that dude walked up to them and said, I'm going to build this thing called television, they said, get the fuck out of here. You going to put people in a fucking box, put the fucking cord in the wall socket, and then run an antenna on the roof to show it? Get him out of here, Jim. Now, today, they got TVs. Fucking, then it's my phone.
Two choices, sign it or sign out. That's one choice. And these crazy high interest rates.
Drop that pen. Before you sign that, raise your credit scores instantly with Experian.
Wow, my score went up. And with those credit scores, we'll lower the interest. Thanks, you saved me money.
Stop that. And boost your credit scores and save free only with Experian.
My bad.
Feel me? Big as this fucking patio. What I'm saying is, if you need it, you'll produce it. So, street organizations where I was from, gangs, fulfilled the need. The Panthers have been wiped out. And these brothers and sisters, everybody always say, may have been Panthers. That's true or not true. Well, I tell you what they were. They was tired of the bullshit. And the way they responded to it by creating this super gang which they never thought was going to be a super gang. It was just cats doing their thing. That's what people don't understand about history, man. History ain't plotted out. That ain't the part that's going to make history when you plot that shit out. History is spontaneous, man. It's made by the masses every day. Small shit that you never hardly hear about. But we're hearing about more because now we technology, knowledge mature. And I apologize, man, for straying off again, but man, it's been so long since I've been able to talk.
Oh, it's all good. So, Tookie, tell me how and when you met Tookie.
I first met Tookie in '76, man. This is before he moved on 69. His stepfather, always lived there, and he was a photographer. And then his mother lived around his father. His stepfather always lived. Not his mother, but not his mother. Tookie's mother had the dog thing. Remember, she had the kennel company. So Took was doing that at that time, and he came over here with Jack, and from the east side, who became his roommate eventually. And they asked me where Took's father was, stepfather. And I said I didn't know, but they had a red '64 Chevy for little Took. He was finna get out of YA, and they asked me what I thought about the car. I said I thought it was cool, man. So I rode off. I was on my bike. That was the first time I ever really met him. But I already knew him. I knew who he was by sight, by his shape, by just the way people were around him. And he just and his thing about Tookie never was like the leader. He just was one of the hardest motherfuckers. And motherfuckers was just on that level getting hard. So who else better to emulate than the hardest motherfucker there? But Tookie, he himself was emulating Craig Munson. The thing was to try to be a giant. The thing was that when I hit you, I'm gonna knock you out. I don't got time to be fighting with you all day. My biscuits is shined up. I got my creases in. I got the vest on. You know what I mean? I got my H-Deuce. I got the motherfucking... It's hooked up. I ain't got time to be fighting with you. I got this long cross earring in. When I hit you, I'm gonna knock you out. So in order for me to do that, I gotta lift weights. So Tookie was the prototype of that for us. But he himself was as we all overstand, right? Tookie used to have a big old picture of Sergio Olivia, and a Cuban brother who won Mr. Olympia. First brother ever to do it, African Cuban. And so everybody had something to look up to, man. But you had Tookie, right? But Tookie wasn't the biggest. There was other cats bigger than Tookie, but they didn't have the whole package.
Bigger than what? Reputation or size?
And size. No one bigger than rep. Once the rep is established, then that's what you ride on, right? And then more times out of 10, when you approach, people approach you based on your rep. So that'll float you for a while, but Tookie's like cute, like all of us. The rep ain't cool. I need to fight every day. So that's how Tookie was. He just pull up and just want to fight a motherfucker. You know what I mean? So he wasn't always the biggest, but he had the whole total package, the whole charisma. Man, look, bro, and I'm not saying this because I'm Keyway and Took is Keyway. I knew him personally, but he was star quality, man, just like Mouse. These cats, man, in any other lane in this country, if freedom existed, these dudes would be who everybody would be. These dudes would be our Billy D. Williams. They would be our James Earl Jones. These dudes, I'm talking about the total package. Intelligence, wit, charm, unbridled sexuality, physique, looks, teeth. I mean, these dudes, no tattoos. They didn't have to do none of that. They didn't have to, look, when you see these dudes, they might just do something as esoteric as this. Just throw their wing out on you. Ain't nobody seen this but you and this dude. But he just flexed on you. Now it's about Burgess Swan going to Long Beach. They catch him at the Long Beach Arena for the Parliament Funkadelic concert. We're going to break on him. Come out on him, Tookie. Break on him, Tookie. Break on him. That's what Big Jack would say. Break on him, Tookie. And Tookie will come out of shit. No tattoo, waist is small. Come out like this, man. I'm just a giant of a dude. Handsome. big old natural at the height of health. Taking no supplements or nothing, man. Man, Took would do this shit. All bullshit aside and set. Took would go up to the liquor store and buy a half pint of chocolate milk. Go right around the other aisle, get a little packet of yeast. He'd take the yeast and eat the yeast and drink the chocolate milk on the way back home and say, I'm finna go out there to the house and blow up like bread. And he'd start lifting because it was my job to stack the weights. Me, Harv, Lil Harv, Trey Ball. It was our job to stack the weights. So if he say he doing arms that day, we get the arm shit out. Dumbbells. You know how the whole front room, Tookie's whole front room was no furniture. All weights. That cubes, the other homies that went around and taken from areas of people. So Took's whole front room was weights. You want to sit down, you sit down on a stack of 50s. Or you sit down on that crate, but in that crate is like a dang gang of dimes. And mirrors. And a crate with a box with a speaker in it that was hooked to a line that went to the back that was supposed to be an 8-track, but it only played 4 songs. 4-track.
If you only list your vacation home on Airbnb.
So they played 4 songs over and over all day. Girl Call It by Chocolate Milk. Reach For It by George Duke. Happy Feelings by Frankie Beverly Mays. And Go Away Little Boy by Marlena Shaw. Now this song here made it into the repertoire because Big Jack, Took's roommate, he was an OG East Side Crip, swole at the top, but he had little bitty chicken legs. That's the homie. But that was his weakness. He had the proverbial despicable me body. Like the penitentiary body. Before people start working on their leg, overstanding at the legs is your foundation. And I'm getting off this, man. I'm all stuck. Look, hey, bro, look, hey, look. Hey, I'll push you aside, y'all. Look. Man, I'm so happy to be out the hole. I'm so happy to be out South Confinement. I'm so happy to be back on the main line. Because when man, bro, I got validated in 1989. I got validated, right?
Validated as what?
As an associate of the Black World Family. But at that time, it didn't matter. Associate, member, you validated, that's the rap. So from 89 to 2017, I had an indeterminate shoe turn. Every time I got captured, when they put the handcuffs on, I knew I'd go straight to reception, straight back to Pelican Bay. And that's what happened. So I was there doing the hunger strikes 2011. And I got released in 2012, San Diego. But look, when I went back this time, this case was, our hunger strike was successful. And we won we settled the Ashker versus the governor decision about us being captured as political prisoners in hold with no 115. She said we belong to this group, but we ain't got a 115. You just came and locked us up and said we're institutional security. All of a sudden, I got life in the hole. You know, the judge only gave me 5 years. You giving me life in the hole for no crime. You're a threat. Okay. I went back this time. They lifted that. Oh, I'm on the main line. Whoa. I'm on the main line. Level 3. Sentinel. That shit was a shock to my system. Like, fuck. It was like being on the street. I had seasoning and shit in my food and shit. And a hot pot. I came out the hole. So when I first got back, they put me straight in Chino's hole. Until they lifted my indeterminate, like 6 months. Then lifted the indeterminate. And then sent me over to level 3. 37 points or some shit. But, so I kind of came out the hole and have shit. So everybody gave me everything. TV, fan, hot pot, all that shit. I was amazed. I had so much shit, I didn't know where to plug it at. I said, damn, they got plugs and everything. I'd been in the hole so long, it's like I was a caveman. Trip. But they wouldn't give me a celly for a year. So I stayed there a year. Boom, got me to Solano. salons. I never met so many young Crips, so many young Bloods, so many young Bay Area dudes, so many young Bay Area Crips. That was just had so much time. And really, that's the key, man. I think that we're missing on this whole prison thing. Yeah, they let a lot of lifers out, but they let a lot of lifers out because they've sucked them dry. They've sucked them dry. Now, these young brothers and sisters that's coming in with all this time, that's the new generation. And then once they get enough of them in, they're going to change the law again, boom. But they're going to be locked in for a certain amount of time. It's like a revolving door. It's like the recidivism. It's like the system has recidivism. The system itself can't reform. The system itself has to eat from us. And really, isn't that how it is? Like really at the bottom of this whole apparatus, on the bottom level, is the real oppressed people. The Chicano nation, New African nation, Puerto Rican nation, indigenous people, Alaska, Hawaii. These is really the foundations of what America's rested on, because this is where she reaps her benefits from, really. Then it has this bullshit working class, white people in their bullshit ass unions, like that shit means something. And fucking unions were busted back in the fucking 20s. Oh, it's just corrupt, right? But this country's the Ponzi scheme, and it's predicated on our backs. So, to jump back to what you were saying about the street organization, I was a young, impressionable child. I knew right from wrong. I had been tongue kissing girls and humping them and sticking my finger in their butt for years. And when I was I had started probably doing that when I was 5. Curiosity with girls, my age and shit. You know how you be young and shit, humping girls and shit. But so I wasn't no naive ass dude. I knew that if I shot a dude, he wasn't gonna get back up. I knew that kind of shit. I had never shot a gun, but I had been seeing it on the cowboy movies and all the fucking war movies. Then I learned my violence from Looney Tunes. Man, I learned how to hit a motherfucking head with a board from Daffy Duck with a nail in it. I learned how to carry 2 guns from Yosemite Sam. I learned how to carry a double barrel shotgun from Elmer Fudd. I learned how to do a drive-by from watching Al Capone movies. I was a young, impressionable dude. So then moving down to 69th, and Mom thought she was doing the right thing by getting us a bigger house. She moved us from the fucking frying pan to fire. And she ain't overstanding because she's just a working class mother by herself with 6 kids. And we took advantage of that shit. We went latch key like a motherfucker. I went to Raymond Avenue for 1 week. Crazy D and my homeboy KK jumped on me. None of us from the set then, but a dude across from me asked me if I wanted this hot dog. I didn't know he was already beefing with Crazy D. So I said, yeah. So when I reached for the hot dog, him and D beefing. So D think I'm with him. So D get off on me, boom. Then KK jump in. They pack me out. I took care of it later. Trust me. But okay. So I said, fuck it. I lock it up. I leave that school and I go back to the school. I was over in the Crenshaw District, 54th Street. And it was from that school I graduated, 6th grade. But in 6th grade, I joined the turf.
Okay, now you go to Horseman after that?
Yeah, I go to Horseman. 7th grade. Whole 7th grade, I'm a Horseman. So 76, 77, I'm a Horseman. But the last day of school at Horseman, 76 turning 77, right around the time we took, I slapped the dean on the back of the neck on the way down the stairs. He was standing there. It was the last day of school on Friday, and I had to get his neck. This motherfucker was standing there with his corduroy fucking jacket on with the patches and shit, with his hand like this, like some authority ass figure motherfucker. And I was going downstairs and I didn't think he was gonna see me, so I reached back and got him. Wow! Slapped the shit out of him. I gave him the whole hand on his white ass neck. Bam! And I ducked down the crowd and I jetted. But the whole summer that fool hunted me and got all his informants. And the first day of school, he was at the gate. He said, Cody Scott, come here. Come on. Grabbed me by the shoulder, took me in, expelled me. Not expelled me from the school district, suspended me. So, and kicked me out of school. I went to Henry Clay. And this is how I hooked up with the Hoovers. I went to Henry Clay, 77. So, I landed Henry Clay. Just so happened they put me in the fucking class with Ben O's from 107, Levi from 107, Moo little brother Andre Jones from 107. I mean, some solid dudes, because I really didn't know who was from blocks or neighborhoods, because that ain't who we was beefing with. This is like 77, and it wasn't no Crip Wars. I'm still over enthused by these giants, like Cutes, Rusty, Mouse, Chuck, Chucky, Todd. I mean, fuck, man. Lil Chuck, Wayne, Loose Booty, T-Bone, Ballhead Bobby, KC. I mean, these dudes is local. Raymond Potts, James Miller, the Bram Killer. I mean, these fucking local fucking legends, right? And so these names is like, to me, like collecting baseball cards. And I would see their name on the wall and it'd say Cutes, 38 Special. He signed his name and then put the kind of gun. But the thing about them was they had a clique called the Magnificent Seven.
Acting funny on this yard trying to let a motherfucker outside if you ain't there at yard release. So I'm looking out the window and this white boy right next to me and he like, I asked him, you trying to buy some weed? But he didn't even look at me. He just kept looking outside like, no, I don't want to buy no weed from you. I'm like, cool. So I get out to the yard. I'm out there. It's a regular ass day. I done forgot about this white boy right next to me. It's a regular ass day. D-Hunt out there. We ain't fucked up, but we done blew a little stick. So we feeling good. Next thing you know, we look up and we start hearing this sound. We hear, if you ever heard somebody get stabbed, this is what it sounds like. I was like, so what happened is the Blood Alley handball court is right next to the white boys handball court, right next to it. And they was playing handball, right? We just chilling. You know, when we hear that sound, we look up. Man, this white boy killer, then crept up on the white boy, we gonna call him G. Crept up on G while he was playing handball, jumped on his back, stabbed him. He kept on stabbing. I'm talking about he stabbed him like 40 times. Then on top of that, then after he stabbed him, he took the motherfucking knife, threw it over the wall, came back, and started kicking the shit out this motherfucker. He got blood squirting all over. He kicking him now. I'm like, damn, and me and D Hunt, we like right here. Still, we like 5 feet from this shit. 5 feet. We fucked up. So then the police come. Man, they try to save this dude's life. I don't know what happened. They carted him off or whatever. So then we get back to the cell. Man, we didn't talk for like 2 days. I'm like, D-Hunt, man, what's wrong, man? Why you ain't talking? Finally, he broke his silence. He like, son, with a straight face. He like, son, that really fucked me up, son. Just the savage nature of it, son. It's too much, son. That was, I've seen a lot, son, but that was a lot. You know, my young wife, I'm like, shit, you know, it is what it is. You know what happens. It's prison. But when you think about it in my 40-year-old, 39-year-old mind, I look back, I was like, man, now I'm thinking, I'm like, that's some really fucked up shit to fuck D Hunt up, because that's the OG. So anyhow, so fast forward. So about 7 months later, I'm talking to the psych, and I tell him, I'm having a bad day. So next thing you know, I come back for the yard, and there's 2 police in front of my cell. They talking about cuff up. I'm like, cuff up for what? They said you was talking about hurting yourself. You got to go to the hospital for a few days so you can rest it off or whatever. I said, oh, hell no. They took me to the hospital, put me butt naked in a schmuck, gave me some motherfucking books to read and shit. And then this dude comes by in a walker. And I looked, man, my face was like this. Man, it was G. He survived the stabbing attack, man. He got stabbed 40-something times and a stomping by one person, and he survived. He survived. But I ain't gonna lie, this is not to mock him, but this is what happened. I said, damn, I thought you was dead. I said, what? He said, I got stabbed. So what happened is he turned into a vegetable. I mean, because they can't let you out of prison if you fucked up. Like, if you fucked up, you got something wrong with you, like a serious something, like they want to kick you out the same way you came in. And if you ain't right, they'll keep you. And they kept him in the back of this hospital hiding. Because the sad thing is he was like 2 weeks to go home when he got stabbed up like that. I don't know what happened to him after that, but 7 months after the stabbing, I seen him in the hospital, and he hadn't went home yet. That's messed up, man. But anyhow, so the white boy killer, they put him in a cell with this dude, right? Man, it was my partner too, man. Why he killed a dude in a cell in the hole, and then get on the door and yell, "Get this carcass up out of here!" What? You kill your cellie and get on the door and yell, "Get this carcass up out of here"? That's crazy. So then they actually put him in a cell with somebody else, and they damn near killed them too. Man, that white boy right there, killer. I wish I could say his name, but killer. That's the hardest white boy I know. Dirty weather. Go.
VA loans are arguably the most powerful mortgage product on the market. Here are 5 big reasons why. 1, you can buy
All right, so check this out. We about to end this live, just in case, like Kev Mack might be mad at me for sharing some Cody. I don't know. But therefore, we're going to end this live. And then we gonna start another one. Another one. But this is gonna be the bakery. That wasn't the bakery. That was documentary. This is the bakery. Another one. 7 o'clock.